Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some of the things that I do in the game once I'm out of resin. And pretty much that's just going to be farming for stuff like artifact fodder and also for crystal chunks in the world. And I'll get to why these things are important here in a bit. But first of all, I just wanna say, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does just go a long way in helping out the growth of this channel. I've been so thankful that the community has been very supportive in my switch over to Genshin from Animal Crossing. And don't get me wrong, if you were originally here for Animal Crossing content, I have some ideas for some new upcoming videos. But going back to this video, I just want to say I know I've been making content that's mostly been for beginners and new players because I have a lot of friends and people in my community who are just kind of new to Genshin. But this video in particular, I think is going to be extremely helpful no matter what AR level you are. Doesn't matter if you're new, doesn't matter if you've been playing since launch. And that's because the resources that I'm going to go ahead and show you here that I farm pretty much every single day, it really becomes helpful later on in the game. So even though these artifacts are going to be like 1-star artifacts, and even though these crystal chunks can be sometimes kind of a pain to go find, I'm going to go ahead and show you some tips and tricks and just kind of like the way that I go about finding these things. So to really get started here, I'm going to show you what we're going to go look for. And pretty much they are just going to be artifacts. And I know I haven't covered artifacts fully in detail yet in a video, so there's some newer players who've been asking me like, why do we need artifacts, etc., and what do they do? But I'll make a whole entire deep dive breakdown video of that and like what certain sets do, stuff like that, especially for beginners who don't know what they're doing, in an upcoming video. But what we're going to be farming for is actually, I don't have too many of them right now because I've been leveling up my artifacts, but we're going to go ahead and look for some really low level artifacts, primarily 1-stars, and if we're lucky, maybe 2 stars, 3 stars, and very, 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 if we're lucky, we'll get some 4 stars in there, but I kind of doubt that. Now for some newer players, I know it might sound like these 1-star artifacts are kind of useless because I know there's probably some people who've seen prior videos where I say don't really worry about artifacts until you're AR 45, but this is really going to help out once you do start getting those 5-star artifacts, so that way you can start leveling them up. Just as a super quick rundown, once you start getting better artifacts, you can level them up and they'll gain certain stat increases once you level them up. So as like a quick for example of why we're going to need these things, let's just say I have this artifact here, this flower, and I go into details, then enhance. So I'm actually going to go ahead and move my camera over so you can actually see on the bottom right hand side over here, we can actually add materials in here so that way we can increase the level. So pretty much you want to use low level artifacts so that way your better artifacts can start leveling them up, and you use these as fodder for it. So throughout this video, I'm going to be showing you spots where you can find these 1-star, maybe 2-star artifacts for fodder. And then the other thing we're going to go ahead and look for are crystal chunks. These magical crystal chunks, kind of, but mostly these just regular crystal chunks here, and a little bit in Inazuma. I'm still trying to figure out certain spots for them, but these lumps right here. And the reason for that is because this actually helps you level up your weapons. And if you are anything like me, I like raising up a lot of my weapons to really high levels, and it doesn't really matter how many times I buy battle pass or how many chests I find out in the wild. I can never have enough of these chunks, because what you're going to do is you'll actually take those chunks over to one of these guys over here, right? This blacksmith over here, as Kazuha is standing on this bench all weirdly. And from here, we can make up to 30 of the mystic enhancement ores here, but we need 4 of the regular crystal chunks just to make one of the mystic enhancement ores. So I kind of need a lot of them. So pretty much every single day I'm going out and farming these crystal chunks so that way I can keep leveling up my weapons. And one other really quick tip to give you in terms of trying to like find where these crystal chunks are is you can actually talk to the blacksmith and you can say about Liyue's mining products. You can click that and this blacksmith is actually going to mark on your map after I get through all of this dialogue. So right here, these like crystal icons here are going to show you the rich ore reserve, and so there's some spots there, but it definitely seems like there's more than just like the ones that he points out. So it's nice to go ahead and hit all the spots. So I'll go around to the different spots. Pretty much wherever you see one of these pin markers where this axe is, these are going to be spots for crystals. It definitely doesn't seem like some pop up every day. There's definitely times where it takes like 2 days for some of them to respawn, but it's definitely helpful to just go ahead and check all of these different spots throughout each day just to see if they're there. And like I said, these are the things that I do when I'm out of resin. I'm still waiting on one more resin to refill so I can run another domain, because it's the bane of everyone's existence in this game. But one other quick tip before I get into this route that I want to go ahead and show you is if I go into my party, there's definitely characters that are going to help your exploration. There are certain elemental resonances, and there's a couple character abilities that are going to give you a little bit of a boost in terms of the speed in which you go ahead and farm these routes. The first one being the elemental resonance of Animo. So I have Venti and Kazuha in this party. If I go into here, you can see I have the 2 Animo in here, and it says decreases stamina consumption by 15%. And that's going to help when I'm running around all over the map to help me just have a little bit more stamina throughout to speed it up just a bit. Another character that you could potentially have in your party that I don't really have leveled up, but it doesn't matter too much, is Razor. And the reason why Razor is actually really great for exploration is because if you go to his talents, you can see that he has a passive here called Woven Sprint. And Woven Sprint says decreases the sprinting stamina consumption for your own party members by 20%. Personally, I like not really running Razor in there and instead having these 2 animal characters, because Venti and Kazuha, you can use their E abilities to kind of like climb and get places a lot easier. Now, I also love having Ningguang in my farming routes, because if you don't know, she also has a passive talent that tells you where the ores are, and I believe it's this one right here, the bottom one, displays the location of nearby ore veins used in forging on the mini-map. So when you're out hunting for these crystal chunks, like I said, sometimes they don't spawn every single day. So if you leave a marker down and you go to that marker, but you don't see any kind of icon indicating that there are crystals there, then they're not going to be there, and you can just go ahead and go to a different location. Just saves a couple of seconds, which, you know, a little bit time save definitely is helpful. So this is my exploration comp, and we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So as you can see, there's a lot of pins on my map. From here, I'm going to start with some crystals. So we're going to go ahead and start in Liyue, and a lot of the spots are just going to be like crystal spots first. So if you are looking for artifacts particularly, I'm going to have a timestamp in there where I kind of like go towards more so the artifacts, because a lot of them tend to be more in this northern route, and so sometimes I do combine them a little bit, but I'll make sure I have a timestamp in there once we're getting into that section. So let's go ahead and head a little bit west of Liyue Harbor near Mount, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, into this teleport waypoint right here. Okay, right here at the teleport, and what we're going to go ahead and do is just turn around a little bit so we can see this teleport here. And as you can see up on the mini map right there, I have that pick icon, and I also see an icon for the ore, one of them being from the blacksmith himself, and then there's this other one, and that's because of Ningguang's passive. So I can see that there are crystal chunks right in here, and this is what I'm looking for. Zhongli is also great in this party because if you do his hold E, it's going to automatically break all of these around. So that's definitely really helpful. The only thing is it is a 10-second cooldown. The other thing you can do if you don't have Zhongli when it comes to breaking these like really quickly is if you have a Claymore character, the Claymores actually break these crystals quite quick. I think in like 3 swings and 3 hits. So next spot, I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible, but still be kind of informative so you know where to go. Like I said, make sure to be marking down pins of where these are at. Here's my map for this kind of section if you want to go ahead and pause and put some pins. So I'm going to go ahead, head a little bit more west, and I'm going to hit this teleport waypoint. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and zoom past all of these guys. I'm going to try to go ahead and skip a lot of these fights and just try to get us from point A to point B real quick. But basically over this hill, we're gonna jump down, and there's actually going to be an abyss mage right here. We can see 1 crystal right there. And yep, there's some crystals in here, but this is not where the blacksmith told us to go because there's not any of those like blue crystals in here. So that's why he didn't tell us to go in here. But like I said earlier in the video, there's definitely going to be some spots where there are crystals that the blacksmith doesn't tell you. So that's why it's really helpful to go ahead and hit all these spots. And pretty much I'm just running out of that cave, running away from that fight. Head over here, skip all these hilichurls. And there's like another little cave over here. I'm going to try to conserve some of my stamina. I'm going to conserve some of my stamina in here while I jump down. And there are some more right here. And so this is a spot that the blacksmith told us to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and collect all of these. There's another Abyss Mage in here that I'm gonna try to run away from by just opening the map, and we're gonna go a little bit southwest over to this waypoint, and now a little bit northeast from this waypoint. I'm gonna fly over, and like I said, I do this after I'm done like doing all my other stuff for the day, mostly like any events, any quests, stuff like that. And as you can see, if you're looking at my mini map, the aura says it's right there, but clearly there's none right there. So this one's also a little underground, and just want to say this is definitely like a really relaxing thing for me to do. There's definitely times where it's a little bit tedious, don't get me wrong. And as I jump down here, you can see like there's this guy rushing me, but once I go into here, right into here, there's a Fatui agent and just a couple crystals. So we'll go ahead and take that, and we're gonna run away from him and go right back to that teleport spot that we went to last time. And so from here, I'm just gonna jump and head over to this like ruin looking area over here. And kind of what I was getting at just a bit ago is that something that I like to do when I have to just go ahead and run this route is I like to listen to music, maybe, you know, listen to a podcast. I'll watch some YouTube videos, see what other people are doing, and just kind of catch up on some other things. There's definitely times where this can be really tedious doing this over and over every single day. So just having something to break up the monotony, I try just not to, I tend to just like zone out a little bit while I do this. And so right into here in this ruin that I've come down into, I'm just gonna go into here, and I'm gonna go break all of these with Zhongli again, steal all of this, and there's even a Ticulous Jade in here, so if you need that for another character, this is a really good spot for it. And I'll just go ahead and show you on the map where we are. We're near the pool over here. So the next spot we're actually gonna go ahead and hit is just a little bit north near the pass. And so I'm gonna go ahead and teleport to this one right up here. Now from up here, I'm just gonna go a little bit to the west and just go ahead and glide over this way. And I can already see him off in the distance. I tried zooming in, but that didn't really seem to help. But there's a couple more crystal chunks right into here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and head down, grab these crystal chunks right here. Where'd it go? Sometimes they kind of swerve on you. All right, so a couple crystal chunks there. Now I'm gonna head over to the statue of the 7, just a little bit north of where we're at, and teleport there. And again, over to the west, just turn around. And they're kind of hidden in this like weird ruin over here. So yeah, there's this kind of like weird like broken ruin here. And I'm just gonna go ahead, jump down with these giant slimes. Zhongli is super helpful because of his shield and for breaking all this, so I don't really have to engage in these enemies because there's also like hilly trails up at the top shooting down. So I don't really have to engage with Zhongli. That's why another reason why he's my favorite character in this game. And instead of teleporting, we're just gonna go ahead, ladder up out of here, heading a little bit more west, and we're just gonna go ahead and glide over from here, skip past these ruin guards, and right into here, we have a core lapis and more crystal chunks. So we'll just take all of these. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and then next spot we're gonna go ahead and go to is a little bit to the east over here. So I'm gonna head to this spot. Okay, from this spot over here, it's another one of those like kind of like weird ruin spots. So I know there's like an easier way to get in there somehow, but I tend to just like miss the opening for some reason. So what I'm gonna do is actually glide right over here. And I know there's a way like through these ruins or something to get down in there, but I'm just gonna go ahead and drop from over here. And as you can see, some more crystals up in here with some hilly trails and some slimes. But I'm just gonna go ahead and run away from all of these guys. So not many into here. I know there's definitely like some more just depending on the day. So this is a really good spot to hit and check over day by day. I'm just gonna go ahead and take these. And if I had a Claymore character, this would be a little bit more easier, but Ningguang seems to be doing pretty good. So that's it for this spot. I'm gonna go ahead and head a little bit north from here near the Luhua pool. We're gonna hit this teleport right here, and we're gonna head just a little bit east. Okay, so heading east from over here, just gonna glide over these pools. And it's a little bit past this like stone area over here. So this is where Venti and or Kazuha definitely come in to help because the crystals are right over there. And so instead of swimming over there, I'm just gonna glide my way up with the hold E. Come into all of these crystals over here. Love to see this. Let's take all of these crystals. All right, perfect. And that's good for this spot. So we're gonna head a little bit north, and pretty soon we're actually gonna go ahead and start getting into these artifacts over here in Liyue. But what I'm first gonna do is I have a lot of pins throughout here. I would definitely, if I were you and you need some of these crystal chunks, I would pin some of these, but sometimes they're not really worth going to unless you see the blacksmith exclusively like pointing them out, because some of them, there's just like one chunk in like a random spot. And so I tend to feel like if I'm like low on time, it's not so worth it to hit all of these. I'm gonna go to some for sure in this video, but where we're going to go is near this peak over here. And what we wanna do is go over to the east, and where I have this right here, as I click it and you can see the name of the pin, I have it as Crystal Guy. So go ahead and pin some of these, it would be really helpful. And we're gonna go ahead over there and I'll show you why I've named him Crystal Guy. All right, so from this teleport, we're gonna head east over here. And pretty much just right when we're over this pass, we're gonna start our drop. I can kind of see way down there that there are some crystals, so that's a good sign. We're gonna start this giant drop here and hit the glider. All right, so let's just take some of these, swap to Zhongli, see if I can hit all of those over there too. Got one. And there's just one more up here. Wait that 2 seconds out. And perfect. Now, heading just a little bit more east from over here. I think there's gonna be some treasure hoarders who pop up right here. Yep, right on time. I'll just give them a meteor, and one of them dodged it. Okay, just get rid of this guy real quick. Easy, we'll take their goods. Perfect. And so the reason why I named this guy Crystal Guy, because if you actually talk to this guy named Pan over here, he's gonna go ahead and ask you about an axe, but you can actually hit right here, the top one. Is there anything of note nearby? I've searched this entire area up and down for my axe, but I haven't seen a thing. So along with the blacksmith, I'm pretty sure he points out if there are any other spots that like have like the crystal ore, but if he doesn't, that's why I was saying a little bit earlier, sometimes it's not really that worth it to check some of these because there's only going to be like one or so around. So I tend to like skip those, and I'll skip that for time's sake. So if you want the actual pins for these and want to hit them for yourself, because there's going to be some random ones around, go ahead and pin this on your own map. But I'm not going to check that for this just for the sake of time. But hey, there's one more crystal right behind, and like I said, sometimes it's not that worth it to just grab one crystal. Maybe it is, depending for you, but for me, sometimes I'm like, nah, let me just go where there's like a lot and I can hit it really fast. So I'm not gonna check out the rest of them on this peak. What I'm going to go ahead and do is head over here to this teleport, just a little bit north, and this is going to go ahead and start some of the artifacts along the route as well in Liyue. So I'll have a timestamp here. So what's great is that there's a spot real close to here that has artifacts as well as crystal chunks. So I'm just gonna go ahead, run past all of these hilly churls here. And we have just a couple crystals here, so I'll take these. And then if I just run away from them, need to conserve some energy here. I love Kazuha, so that way we can just like hit the E while mid-air and keep on like gliding and not hit the ground. And so over here, there's some treasure hoarders who we can beat down if we want to, which I tend to like to just go ahead and kill the hordes. You just never know, sometimes you're going to need some of their drops. So it's definitely really helpful if you're a new player and you definitely need some of the resources for ascension stuff. And for me personally, I know sometimes I just go around exploring while I'm on these routes and I end up finding like chests because I'm like, wait, I didn't realize that I didn't actually go ahead and really explore a lot around these areas. So right into here, as you could probably just see, I didn't explain it, sorry, but in this pouch right here are some artifacts. And if you go over to this other tent, there's some artifacts in here. If you see these like treasure hoarder style like encampments, it's definitely really good to go ahead and search them, because there's a good chance there's going to be artifacts in them, and sometimes there's just going to be like food and stuff like that. So if you're into cooking in this game, it's definitely really helpful. And from over here, I'm just going to go ahead and head over to Mount Osha, maybe, question mark? I don't know, but I'm going to hit this teleport, and we're going to go ahead and hit some artifacts here. And then also kind of the last big spot for crystal ore right over here. So I'm just going to go ahead, teleport. Okay, so from this teleport here, we're just going to go ahead, and I did not mean to hold E there, but I'll take it. We're just going to go ahead and glide pretty much just directly in front of where we were going. And our goal is to hit this little hut over here, and we're gonna drop down, and right over here gonna grab this. Oh, sometimes the camera be bugging out on me, but we're just gonna grab a couple of artifacts right there, a couple 1 stars, and then investigate right here, and then we get 2 more. So like I said, this is great for fodder, so it's definitely really helpful, especially later on when you start pumping all of your artifacts into your 5 stars. There's definitely a point where you feel like, oh, I just have so many artifacts already, it doesn't matter. But I'm telling you that you're gonna hit a point, no matter who you are, where you're just gonna need more of these to go ahead and fodder experience for your artifacts. And just to quickly show you where I went on the map, this is the mining spot right here next to Mount Oshang, and you can put that pin right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead, drop down into this little cavern. And as you can see, some core lapis. We have a lot of crystals in here too. So just take all of this. Ignore this Geovishap, even though he wants to like jump on us. For the sake of this video, I'll probably come back and kill him. Oh my gosh. Ningguang wants to like auto and fight him. Don't want that. Just trying to get these chunks. No, she keeps turning around and not aiming at the crystal. Thank God for Zhongli's shield, right? And look, there's a little baby one over here now. Little Sonic the Hedgehog dude. So I'm just gonna go ahead and void all of these. Gosh, I can't avoid them. They just want to kill me. All right, we're gonna steal all their crystals over there. And I know I've started some of the artifact like finding already. I'm gonna go ahead and come right back to the artifacts, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show you one last spot that usually has a lot of crystal chunks, and basically it's the Guyun stone forest over here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to show you exactly where we are, but it's just off the coast of Liyue Harbor. We're gonna go down to the Guyun stone forest, over to this teleport right here. Okay, and right here at the Guyun Stone Forest, just go right around over here. And look, we have the magical crystal chunks as well as regular crystal chunks. Just take all of these. I think there's one, yep, there's always one hidden back here. Don't want to miss that. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and go over to this domain. We're gonna face the domain and we're just gonna head out this way. I have a couple spots marked with mines over here, but I'm pretty sure that was for core lapis when I was really looking for core lapis. So I don't have pins here because I just kind of know this route by now, but just right into here, you could put a pin down, and then you can also, oh, I did also like pin over here. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and head towards. So, okay, there's not one right there, but there's a lot right here. So I'm gonna take all of these. Great. And then from here, we're just gonna head over here. If you don't know, there's an achievement if you go right here through this gate, because there are 4 big old ruin hunters that you can go ahead and fight all at once. It's a great spot to get a lot of resources, but also a pain in the butt because they swarm you. And when they swirl and, you know, twirl around, it's not a fun time. But here's some more crystal chunks right over here on the coast once you go left of that 4 rune guard spots. And then off into the distance over there, it looks like there is some, looking at my mini map, I don't see any. Sometimes you can see that there's some over on that little island over there. So we're gonna head over there, grab, stand on top of Zhongli's pillar, and then hold E with Venti. Just that way I don't have to swim as much. Honestly, I probably should have done Kazuha, because maybe I could have just kept jumping mid-air. But here we are. Swim a little bit over. And right into here, we can see another Sonic the Hedgehog. And we have some more crystals right over here. There's usually a lot more on this island, but not as many dropping today, unfortunately. Grab these. Oh, he wants to fight and jump at me. Grab those last two. And we are out of here. Let's get out of here, yeah? All right, so that's pretty much all the spots for the Liyue crystals. I'll get into Mondstat right after I go quickly through the artifacts throughout Liyue. And so the first spot that we're gonna go ahead and hit is the Guyun Karst over here. We're gonna hit this teleport. And right into here, we're just gonna turn around a little bit. There's this little hut over here with a couple of guys who'll be arguing. Oh, and look, another crystal. We'll take that crystal right there. And right into here, we're just gonna pillage their boxes real quick and take an artifact from them over there. And then there's another one right here. I don't know if this is another one. Oh, yep, another artifact right in there. So 3 1-stars. Great, we'll take those. And then open the map up. We're gonna stay kind of in this area, but go over to the domain over here. All right, and from the domain, just gonna run out over this way. We're gonna head a little bit kind of north, I guess. Up here. And there's going to be some treasure hoarders up in here. I'll just give them a quick meteor. Let's see. Oh, didn't hit some of them. That's great. Love it when I whiff with my ultimate. It's a good time. All right, we'll take these. Also love when they don't crit. And as you can see, there's a couple of artifacts right into here. Take this too. In their tent, got another one right there. All right, so that'll do it for this spot. So from here, there's a couple other quick spots we're gonna go ahead and hit. Already went to this one and this one. So we're gonna head right here, also kind of near Mount Oshang, but hit this teleport right there. And now from here, there's this kind of abandoned house. Go over into here, got another artifact in there. There's one right there too. And we'll take some of these chilies and we're just gonna run up this little mountain, past that little lake, and right up into here. We're gonna run, I think, into some more treasure hoarders. Yep. Quite a few of them over here. And they have another encampment. This is why I say go ahead and make sure if you see these treasure hoarders around just like chilling, you go ahead and check out what's in their camps because there might be some goodies. All right. And then right into here, we'll take another quick artifact and we'll take their insignias. Perfect. So one right there. And then we're actually gonna head a little bit further away and head over to the inn right over here. Now I don't have it marked down, but I just make sure to remember to check it. We're gonna just jump down and head over to kind of near the main spot, I guess, or entrance near the inn. We're gonna head right down over here. This little fruit stand, I guess, is hiding artifacts in there. So we're just gonna grab that. There's also a really great spot for silk flowers if you need them for your teapot, or if you need them for essential materials for any characters who might need them, like Hu Tao. And then from here, we're actually gonna go ahead and travel back up to the teleport spot of the inn. And that's because we're gonna kind of glide for a bit. We're just going to go ahead and I'll take Venti over here. I'm just gonna get up real high. And we're just gonna go ahead and glide a little bit, I guess, west-ish over here. And as you can see, there's those docks. And all right, right over here, just gonna go ahead and land. There's not much like in these. I think just like some carrots, apples, you know, stuff like that. So if you want to grab that, more than welcome to. And I'm just gonna keep running. And there's going to actually be a little cavern over here. I'm gonna pull up my map to show you exactly where I'm at. So there's the inn that we flew from, and then this spot right here where the star is where this artifact little cave is going to be. And this cave is definitely a great spot to hit. From what I understand, this cave will respawn all of the stuff in here. There's a lizard in here. I'm pretty sure there's an Oculus the first time you come into here too. But as you can see, so many fodderable artifacts into here. So this is a great spot. And from what I understand, that spot kind of like refreshes every 12 hours, which is great. So you can keep hitting that spot almost twice a day, depending on how you plan out your day. And then there's usually a spot over here that's like one of the random quests. And I'm just gonna go ahead and launch a meteor on them real quick and try to get this done. If you don't know, these little random quests that show up are great because it actually gives you companionship EXP over there, as you can see. And that's really helpful when trying to get the friendship levels up for some characters. And pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just taking this path over here a little bit south. And the goal is to get over to where we see on that mini map, where there's that little like road. So I'm just gonna run throughout here, pick up everything along my way. And along this path, there's just a couple spots to hit. Right here in this barrel, there's one. And then go there. So a couple iron chunks. I do tend to like fight these guys over here, specifically because this large churl, he really might drop an artifact. It's rare, don't get me wrong. There's a good chance he's not going to, but I've been lucky sometimes and gotten them to drop an artifact before. So it's just a nice little thing to go ahead and do right along the spot. And I did that ult for no reason. And oh, see, I got actually a 2-star artifact there. So that worked out in my favor. Perfect for fodder. And just heading up into here. Yep, just gonna go ahead and take out this hilly churl, and he's digging up, looks like an artifact right there. So just gonna take care of these guys real quick. Take their masks. And that's it. There's another spot up here. Yeah. Oh, nothing dropped there. Sometimes there's a drop there, and Zhongli's kind of stuck because he's too tall. So I'm gonna swap to a small guy, get out of there. There is like this little camp up here, and there's another like law churl, and even like a Sin mage over here. I'm sorry, an abyss mage over here. And sometimes they will drop artifacts, but for the sake of time, you can kill them if you want, but I'm not going to for this video. And okay, so from over here, we're gonna go ahead and head over to this marsh, and we're gonna hit the statue of the 7 next to the marsh over here. So right here from the statue of the 7, get a quick heal if we need, and then just right into this abandoned house. We're just gonna steal these random sunsettias that are over here. And a dull blade is over here, a couple mushrooms. And sometimes in that spot, there's an artifact, but got a dull blade from that one. And now we're just gonna go ahead, teleport, and head a little bit north to Stone Gate here. As you can see, I have another star right here that you can go ahead and mark for yourself. So we'll actually, okay, so we'll teleport over next to Stone Gate. And before I head that way to hit the star, I'm just gonna go ahead and run down this bridge. There's a couple things just to grab real quick out of here. Sometimes there's an artifact through here, sometimes there's not. Grab the sunsettias, cabbage, apple, and then what's over here? Some iron chunks. So just some other like rando resources to grab. I tend to really like just grabbing these random things. And actually into here, this spot right next to Pops, there's actually a couple artifacts, so perfect. And let's go ahead, head back up near the teleport itself. There's going to be this little thing right here, and you have to apply pressure to it. This is why Zhongli is amazing, again, because you can just put his pillar down. That'll create a wind. You can just go ahead, glide up here. If you don't have Zhongli, you can use like Xiangling, who is free after you clear like the 2nd or 3rd floor, something like that, in Spiral Abyss, I'm pretty sure. And all right, just gonna go ahead, head over this way, and then there's this like house over here. Grab these radishes, and right at the table, there's another artifact right there. Okay, so after grabbing that one, I'm gonna pull up the map again, and we're gonna head actually over to Chinsei Village? I don't know, I need to do a pronunciation video, learn how to actually pronunciate things in this game. But we're gonna head up next to there, and we're gonna face this way, and I love this view, honestly. It's one of my favorite spots to take footage and take photos at. We're just gonna go ahead and turn around. There's the elderly lady who is always chilling over here, but right behind, we can go ahead and take some artifacts from her. Sorry about that, Granny. And we'll actually head down over into the village itself, and there's a ton of resources along here. I just want to say, like, there's some mint over here, and if we come over, there's usually, like, in these carts, there's like a lot of resources throughout. Like, yep, some cabbage and some radishes. So food is throughout like these little stalls here. It's into here. Oh, there's actually an artifact right there. I never knew about that spot. It's good to know. And never grabbed that letter before, but I'll grab that. And then right into here, as you can see, there's another spot right here. And if I can investigate that, there's another artifact right into there. So that's all near the village. I'll show you on the map where I'm at. There's a star right there. Okay, and then from the village, we're actually going to grab what I think is the last one in this route for Liyue. We're gonna come to Saltaire over here. And over from Saltaire, what we're gonna do is we're gonna head a little bit north. And there's actually, I believe, like a mini boss that's over there. I can't remember his exact name. But as you can see, there's a big boy over there who's definitely a good one to go ahead and fight every day. I think he respawns every 20 hours or something like that, but there's a good chance that you might get an artifact from him as well. So that's the good, but we're gonna go ahead and find this little camp over here and grab these artifacts. And that's gonna go ahead, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna do it for Liyue. So that's all for the Liyue farm. I don't actually know if there are really many artifact spots in Mondstat. I'm sure there are, but I just haven't come across them myself. So if you're here for artifacts, that's pretty much going to do it for Liyue. And actually going over to Inazuma, there's a couple spots that I found, but I'll get into that later on in this video. So go ahead and just like mark some of these spots right here that you see. I'm gonna go ahead and go down. You can see there's another one right there, which I'm pretty sure I haven't all the way tested and gone back to every single one of these spots to see if it refreshes. Some of them seems to be refreshing like over the course of like 3 days and stuff like that. So over here, you can see I have a couple marked other stars over here. All the stars are artifact spots, but there was just a ton of 1-star artifacts like right when we got into Inazuma, and I made sure to like star all of them, but it doesn't seem like some of them are coming back. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and start the Mondstat farm. So this is going to be mostly for crystal chunks. So what I'm gonna do is actually head over to Mondstat City. All right, so in Mondstat City, the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is talk to the blacksmith over here so he can tell me some spots. And so if you're running low on time, this is actually like a great thing to go ahead and do, is you go ahead and just ask them for some ore spots. Wagner, I don't understand why some of y'all like Wagner. He's always like really rude. And to me, at least, in terms of the dialogue. So he marked a couple spots for us here. It looks like some in Bright Crown and near Wolvendom. But there's a couple other spots, as you can see. So you can go ahead and pin these on your map as well. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the spots that he shows first. So I'm gonna head over here near Wolvendom. All right, and from here, just gonna go a little bit east. Right there, just a ton of crystals, which we love to see. And grab all of these. And then just gonna go ahead, head up north. And there should be like a little camp over here. Oh yeah, I think I ran over here earlier in the day and I just like killed all of the hilichurls that were over here, but yep, some crystals into here. So when you come over here for the first time, there's probably going to be some hilichurls over here. Just showing you on the map where we are again. That's it. So we're gonna go ahead and teleport just north, hit that spot up there. All right, and let's just go ahead, head over this way. Some hilichurls just chilling over here, so I tend to leave them alone, but if you need their materials, go ahead and feel free to fight them. But yep, heading right down into here. Just break all of these. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit some of these other spots that weren't marked by him. So I'm gonna head kind of close to Wolvendom again and head over here. So immediately, if I just turn and go through all of these bushes, there's usually a big spot of chunks and stuff around here, but it doesn't look like there's any other than just the regular iron chunks. But this is another spot where some of those crystal chunks will show up. There tends to be a lot of stuff here on days when there are things there. So another good spot to check just daily, just in case. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and take the trail up through here. And so coming up into here, really close to the wolf, I don't think there's anything here. Oh, there is actually. It wasn't showing up on my mini map for some reason. But yep, we just have some chunks over here. So we'll go ahead and take this. My pillar's in the way. Oh, come on. The downside of Zhongli is the rando pillar placement sometimes. Like, are you kidding me? So I gotta wait that one out. Or put some other ones down. All that for one little crystal chunk, yeah? All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and teleport just south of the wolf. And we'll take this path up north into this mining spot. All right, into here. I like to just grab everything along the way, because might as well. And I usually do fight things along the way. Like, there's always this guy just hiding out. He'll scare you if you don't know it's coming, not gonna lie. So just throw a meteor on his head. What are these non-crits today? Killing me. All right, let's just go ahead, head over this way. There's gonna be a lot of hilly trails over here. Just gonna go ahead and dodge all of them though. Run right past you. And don't see anything, don't see any icons on my mini map. So yeah, nothing over here today, but there's usually a spot right here. And just grab a little quick tomato out of here. All right, so nothing over there. I swear Mondstat seems to be a little bit less reliable than the spots in Liyue. I always get like so much more stuff in Liyue. So I'm just gonna go teleport over to the Valley of Remembrance, the Viridescent domain that low-key hates me. Doesn't give me anything that I needed for Kazuha. Teleport over there, and there's another little spot over next to it. So let's head this way. I actually have to go ahead and climb up this like cliff. All right, barely made it with enough stamina. And there's this little opening right into here and plunge down into here, as you can see. A lot of crystals throughout this one. Perfect. And all right, just shoot at these with Ning Wong, I guess. All right, perfect. Grab those. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go over near Storm Terror. These spots, I marked them, but I swear sometimes they really just don't have ore. A lot of times, like more times than not, they don't have ore or crystal chunks. So I don't know, sometimes if I'm just like in a rush or I don't really like, or if I'm getting kind of like bored on this like route, sometimes I just don't bother to check it, honestly. But if you have some time on your hands, it's definitely good to like check these spots out. So we'll see. I tend to like go to the first one. If there's nothing there, I don't bother with the rest of them. So I think that's how I'm gonna keep it for this. But okay, there's one crystal. See what I mean? Like sometimes there's just like one crystal chunk in there and it's like, man, was this super worth it? I don't know. Because I can just go ahead and over the span of multiple days, just farm the ones that have a lot. But I don't know, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes I have the time, so I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Teleport a little bit north, and I have the two axes over there, so I'll head to the first one and then to the other. And it doesn't look like there's any over here, so great. A little bit of a waste of time. And let's just head over to the other one. If I get close to it, and then there's like an orb on the mini map. Yep, okay, so it looks like there's ore on the mini map. So if I jump down over here, there's literally one crystal chunk. See, sometimes see what I mean? Sometimes Storm Terror's lair, it's not it. Not it. But then sometimes there's a ton of them there, so it's like, you might as well check if you have the time. But that's pretty much gonna wrap it for Mondstat. So thank you so much for sticking around for this video. I know this was a long one, so thank you so much if you made it this far. If you did and you enjoyed it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It does just go a long way in helping out the growth of this channel. More Genshin content on the way. So thanks again for watching. Huge shout out as always to my channel members. It's because of you and your continued support that I can continue to create content like this on this channel. If you want to support the channel directly by becoming a member, you just have to hit that join button next to the subscribe. I've said this like 3 times already, but thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.